When we met again at the dinner party, he smiled at me as I poured drinks for others.
So good at serving people, why not pour me a glass too?
James' words felt like a thorn piercing my heart. I had never felt so humiliated.
I stood still, not moving.
Been a star for too long and forgot you used to be a waitress?
The atmosphere at the table was tense. I forced myself to walk over to him, remembering how he used to pour drinks for me, always catering to my every whim.
After I poured the drink, he smiled contentedly.
Let's talk about the graceful stranger.
I gripped the bottle tightly, hoping nothing would ruin my chances.
James, whatever ideas you have, just let me know, and I'll make it happen.
James played with his wine glass, looking at me with a familiar smile.
What do you think?
I want to be the lead actress.
Only after I said it did I realize that things were different now. James turned to the director and said calmly,
She can't be the lead.
I almost dropped the bottle. The door suddenly opened.
Sorry, I'm late.
A woman with exquisite makeup walked in, reminding me of myself years ago. James affectionately served her food, whispering in her ear.
She will be the lead.
The director quickly agreed. My opportunity slipped away.
David, what role do you have in mind for Emily then?
I've watched Emily's shows. She rarely plays villains. How about letting her play the malicious supporting role?
James glanced at me. David's eyes darted between James and Linda.
What do you think?
If she doesn't want to play the supporting role, then she shouldn't play any role at all.
My heart sank. What was meant to happen had finally come. David agreed.
I had read the script for the supporting role. It was unlikable, and no matter how well I played it, I would be criticized. Thinking about the few dollars left in my bank account, I said nothing and went to the restroom to calm down.
After splashing water on my face to clear my head, I found Linda had followed me.
I heard you were James' ex-girlfriend?
She touched up her makeup in the mirror. I remained silent, my intuition telling me this woman was hostile towards me.
Just play your malicious supporting role well. I'm planning to end your acting career.
She flicked her hair provocatively. I found it amusing. Not having James didn't mean I would let anyone bully me.
Who do you think you are?
She looked both surprised and furious.
Before today, I hadn't even heard your name. Everyone calls me Emily. How dare you call me by my full name? Instead of bothering me, why don't you consider if you're fit to play the lead?
I walked out of the restroom, hearing the sound of a mirror shattering behind me. To me, James was a ray of light in the darkness, a form of salvation. I could accept his retaliation, but not now. I hadn't lived for myself yet. Returning to the dining table, I overheard them discussing changes to the script.
The villainous supporting character, driven by vanity, sells her friend's kidney and cornea for money, and then targets her own family. Does it need to be more vicious?
What about the ending?
In the end, she has her organs taken by her beloved and passes away.
James looked at me.
Should it be even more tragic, right?
I couldn't bear his direct gaze and looked away in a panic. The dinner ended quickly. I waited at the door for my agent, wearing a mask and hat. A Porsche sped towards me. Despite my attempts to retreat, I was still grazed and fell to the ground. I thought it was a crazed fan, but as I fell, I saw Linda's face through the car window. She raised an eyebrow, looking disdainful. My anger peaked at that moment. Maybe James was right. After being a star for so long and being pampered, I couldn't tolerate any mistreatment. I gritted my teeth, remembering this grudge, and clumsily got up, dusting myself off. As I did, I noticed James standing behind me. How much had he seen? Not wanting him to see me in such a state, I pretended nothing had happened and turned my back to him.
Does it hurt?
His words tore through my facade. I wanted to speak but choked up first. After a moment, I managed to say,
It's fine.
The warm yellow light from the restaurant illuminated the ground, and the wind rustled the leaves. I mustered the courage to look at him, and he was looking at me too, cold and indifferent. He slowly approached, glanced at my scraped elbow, and said in a slow, icy tone,
Do you think this is enough?
No, I knew it wasn't.
James, standing tall, suddenly laughed. He gently brushed my wind-tousled hair behind my ear and lifted my chin along its contour. His fingers weren't cold, but they made me shiver. After a long gaze, he scoffed and stepped back a few paces. A black car slowly approached, and without looking at me again, James got in.
Is your new boyfriend that useless?
His voice came from the car. Then, amidst the dust, he left. Watching the car drive away, I couldn't help but think of the past. In my freshman year, my father was a gambler and couldn't pay my tuition, so we had to borrow money from relatives. My phone often received calls from various lenders, and even during the college entrance exams, I received a debt collection call. I worked multiple part-time jobs, sometimes 2 or 3 in a day. The constant worry about money made life seem bleak. At that time, I heard from classmates that luxury cars often parked at the university gate, with a bottle of water placed on the car. The more expensive the water, the higher the offer. In the second semester of my freshman year, I impulsively picked up a bottle of water. I knocked on his car window, holding the water, and asked how much it was worth. The window slowly rolled down, revealing James's face. I was breathless. Could someone this handsome be interested in me? He seemed a bit surprised, opened his mouth, but said nothing. As time passed, my palms grew sweaty. Finally, he spoke.
Get in.
I sat in the passenger seat. He asked about my difficulties, and I told him honestly. He sighed and later gave me a card, asking me to get out of the car. He never mentioned anything inappropriate. I looked at the card, unsure what to do. In my mind, there was no such thing as free money, it always came with a hidden price. I mustered the courage to knock on his window again.
I'm free on weekends.
He paused for a moment and then gave me his name and phone number. On weekends, I spent time with him, cooking and tidying up his place. Regarding my initial offer, he said it wasn't necessary. As we spent more time together, I learned that the bottle of water was just something he forgot after taking a call. I asked him why he gave me the card. He said he saw I was struggling alone. Since getting into his car, my life visibly improved. He introduced me as his sister to others. Later, we started dating. His friends called me sister-in-law, and he pampered me endlessly. Clothes were brought to me, and food was fed to me. By then, I had graduated and entered the entertainment industry. With his help, my career soared. Even top directors had to respect me. Until James went bankrupt. At that time, both he and I seemed to have fallen into the mud, surrounded by people who mocked and sabotaged us. It was incredibly difficult for him to stand up again. Back then, my father was still gambling, but James no longer had the money to pay off his debts. James often took shortcuts to make quick money. To avoid dragging him down, I chose a very unpleasant way to make him leave me. Later, Perhaps because my father had done too many wrongs, even the heavens couldn't stand it, and an earthquake took him away. Yesterday, I finally paid off all the debts. Now, the money I earn belongs to me. I need to make as much as I can before I'm blacklisted, to live the life I want. The day of the shoot arrived quickly. My phone dinged with a message from John.
Today's the first day of shooting. Good luck.
Thanks, John. You too, do well in your new film.
I felt a chill, as if someone was watching me. Looking around, I saw James standing next to David.
Alright, today we'll shoot the final scene first.
In this scene, the supporting actress pushes the lead actress off a balcony, and the male lead arrives just in time. Standing on the 6th floor, I felt dizzy. I had a fear of heights. For the scene, Linda was harnessed, but I wasn't.
3, 2, 1, action.
The evidence is clear. You can't escape.
What evidence? Where did you get it? I grabbed her bag, trying to take out the USB drive inside.
Linda retreated, desperately protecting her bag. She reached the edge, and the old railing behind her creaked, as if it was about to collapse.
Isn't it enough that you've harmed so many people? Do you have to harm your own sister too?
Yes. I reached out to her.
Cut!
Emily. She's a newcomer, and so are you. If she goes out of frame, don't you know to pull her back?
My hands were cold and my legs felt weak. I hoped Linda wouldn't cause any more problems.
3, 2, 1, action.
We continued the scene. I reached out and, according to the script, pushed her.
You're afraid of heights, aren't you?
I was startled. Before I could react, she quickly turned around and pushed me. From the 6th floor. I closed my eyes, feeling as if I was falling into darkness. With a thud, I landed on the air cushion below.
Emily. Emily.
I heard them calling me, but I couldn't snap out of it. After a while, I regained feeling in my limbs, my back soaked with sweat. I thought of the culprit. I looked towards James, who was leisurely sipping coffee. Linda appeared in front of me, looking smug, as if to say, "See, I pushed you, so what? Who dares to say anything?" In a fit of rage, I rushed towards her and slapped her. Suddenly, my hand was caught, and the slap meant for her face was now suspended in mid-air. A man with a buzz-cut, bronze skin, and a scar below his right lip. Linda's bodyguard. He gave me an apologetic smile and stood protectively in front of her. At the same time, I felt a cold gaze from James. Suppressing my anger, I walked towards the trailer.
Emily, did you apologize?
I stumbled, clutching my assistant's hand tightly. I hadn't even hit her, yet I laughed bitterly.
James, didn't you see what just happened?
So what?
Yeah, so what? My anger dissipated suddenly.
James, do you really have to take revenge on me like this?
Emily. Don't overestimate yourself. Apologize.
I met James's gaze, then looked away after a long moment.
Miss Linda, I'm sorry. My recklessness startled you.
Is that enough?
James frowned, then finally nodded, his expression unreadable. I walked away, hearing the murmurs of the crew behind me. Did your new boyfriend pass away? James's voice carried a hint of anger. I had no strength left to speak and got into the trailer. John was always the first to know about my news. Sure enough, he called me.
How are you? I'm on my way to find you. I'll be there soon.
I met him when James and I parted ways. Back then, he was just an extra. We encouraged each other during the toughest times and became each other's support, climbing up step by step.
Don't come, I can handle it myself.
John was silent for so long that I thought the signal was bad. Just as I was about to speak again, he replied.
I have something to take care of as well.
His voice sounded heavy. I agreed and waited for him in the trailer, unable to focus on the script. I still remembered the constant clicking of cameras when I was pushed down the stairs earlier.
The gossip accounts are probably writing something again.
I opened my phone, and the top trending topic was Emily pushed down the stairs, explosive.
What's wrong with people? Blaming the victim? Emily has acted with others without any issues.
My assistant took my phone away, her big round eyes full of worry. She seemed to want to say something but didn't know how to comfort me and remained silent. Her phone rang, and I saw the caller ID, John the superstar.
Answer it in front of me.
John's steady voice told my assistant not to give me the phone and that he would handle the rest. Then he hung up.
What is he planning to do? Give me the phone, it's okay.
Unable to refuse, my assistant handed the phone back to me. Not long after, I noticed a surprising shift in the comments. Major gossip accounts started siding with me, speaking up for me. Even the negative comments about me disappeared.
Was this John's doing? It didn't seem like it. Although he was a superstar, he didn't have that much influence.
Lost in thought, I was brought back by the sound of screams outside the trailer. The door opened, and John's handsome face appeared. His long, pale hand took my phone away.
Stop looking at your phone. Eat something to calm down.
We went to our usual restaurant. He always remembered my preferences. Just like now, I ordered a new dish, but it had cilantro, which I disliked. He picked out the cilantro before placing the dish in front of me. In his haste, oil splattered on his white shirt.
Why are you in such a hurry? If you didn't say you didn't like women, I would think you had a crush on me.
John rolled his eyes and stuffed food into my mouth, his eyes saying, "Stop talking and eat."
Am I always timely? Eat something good to lift your spirits.
Better not to ask. If it weren't for the money, I wouldn't put up with this.
He reached for the sweet and sour ribs, picking what he thought was the best piece and placing it in my bowl. Then he reached for the vinegar fish, dompa pork, long Jing shrimp, and spicy chicken. My bowl was piled high with my favorite dishes. I had been maintaining my weight for acting, but today I decided to indulge.
Don't just eat, drink something.
He handed me a sweet-scented drink and a napkin, pointing disdainfully at my greasy mouth. I gave him a resentful look. It didn't matter, eating happily was what mattered. After eating, John and I played a game together. I was on a roll, defeating opponents left and right. John, with low health, followed me closely. The enemy's character, my Shiranui, was hiding under the tower, afraid to come out.
Go, lure my Shiranui out.
John's character, a little robot, ran over with its short legs. After a few rounds, my Shiranui took the bait and was swiftly taken down by me hiding in the bushes. Our teammates sent congratulatory messages, "Nice job." ×4.
I felt much better today.
We were pushing the high ground when some spam messages blocked part of my screen. But my skills were good enough that it didn't affect me. Finally, the screen showed victory. I looked at the top of the screen and saw a spam message.
Emily, you've been dismissed from the role.
My mood plummeted instantly.
What happened? Your face changed so quickly.
John leaned over to see my screen and saw the message. I turned off the screen.
Here, have a drink.
I ordered a few bottles of alcohol and started drinking despite his attempts to stop me. I was a lightweight, and soon I was seeing double of John. I felt dizzy, fumbling around the table in front of me, pushing the bottle aside before collapsing onto it. In my haze, I felt a force lifting me up. It was a bit uncomfortable, so I turned over, pressing against his chest. Then I lost consciousness.
Odd.
When I opened my eyes again, the sun was already high in the sky. I groggily sat up and looked around.
Sigh.
I grabbed my hair and rolled around on the bed. This wasn't the first time. Every time something happened, I troubled him. I remembered when my career was just starting, I had to fight for roles. There was no room for choice. It was a fantasy drama, often requiring wire work. I had been looking forward to a scene where I gracefully leaped off a city wall, imagining how beautiful I would look on camera, just like the others. Wearing a golden headpiece and a red dress, I was strapped into the harness. When the director shouted action, I leaped. But the harness malfunctioned and I lost support mid-air, plummeting down. Just before hitting the ground, I was abruptly pulled back up. I survived, but my back was almost broken. As a minor actress, the director didn't care much, offering a meager compensation that wasn't enough to cover my medical expenses. I had to stay in the hospital for a while due to the injury. During that time, John, who was in the rising phase of his career, stopped filming to take care of me. Later, that director faced backlash and couldn't finish the drama. Reflecting on the past, John was truly good to me. Ding dong! My phone notification sounded. Who's messaging me so early? Don't they know I'm in a terrible mood? I reached for my phone on the bedside table.
There's a reality show looking for you. Do you want to join? The pay is quite good. After this gig, you'll definitely be free.
I didn't even put on my shoes, running downstairs while shouting.
John, I got a show. I have money now.
Thud, thud, thud. I reached the first floor. I saw John with a swollen lip, being grabbed by the collar by James. James looked at my clothes and my bare feet, his anger intensifying, his grip tightening.
I asked you to take care of my girlfriend, not to make her your girlfriend.
John was thrown onto the sofa. I hurried to stand in front of him, separating the two. John staggered to his feet, his hair a bit disheveled, and his clothes wrinkled. He gestured for me to move aside.
Move!
I didn't budge, looking at James with displeasure and disappointment. I couldn't understand why he suddenly came here to cause trouble. A month before we broke up, I found out I was expecting. James was overjoyed. Later, debt collectors came to my workplace, and they weren't gentle. In the scuffle, I lost the baby. I not only dragged him down but also failed to protect our child. I told him I had terminated the pregnancy because he couldn't provide a stable environment, and I wanted to break up with him. If I were James, I wouldn't have forgiven myself so easily either. But today, I was genuinely angry. I didn't understand why he couldn't just talk things out instead of resorting to violence.
You look at me like that? Why don't you ask John what he did?
Recalling what I had overheard earlier, I looked at John with confusion.
James and I have known each other since we were kids. We lost touch when I went abroad at 18. Our family backgrounds are similar. When I tried to break into the entertainment industry, my family opposed it, so I went out on my own. After you and James broke up, he found me and gave me some resources, asking me to look after you. I agreed. I didn't tell you because I was afraid you'd push me away, and later, it was out of personal interest.
My mind went blank for a moment. Years had passed, and with his persistence, his family must have come around. No wonder he could always achieve things beyond his capabilities. As my thoughts cleared, I caught the affection in his words and remembered something he had said long ago. You said you liked men. I hadn't believed it until I saw him with another man.
It was just an act. You're so gullible. So you weren't together. Liking men? How low can you go?
John remained silent, picking up the fallen couch cushions and placing them back. His gaze fixed on me, his hand clenching and unclenching.
I'm sorry. You two should clear up the misunderstanding.
With that, he left, his lonely figure gradually disappearing as the door closed behind him. I sat down on the couch. James's coattails drew an arc in the air as he moved. His eyes held a faint light, flickering.
I thought you broke up with me because of a new boyfriend. I'm sorry for what I did to you, he said, his fingers interlaced tightly, veins visible on the back of his hands.
When he returned this time, I felt a mix of shame, guilt, and a sliver of hope, a hope I only dared to entertain in my dreams. I lowered my eyes, suppressing my complex emotions, and let out a light laugh, shaking my head. The misunderstanding couldn't be cleared. I couldn't bring myself to talk about the past. It was too humiliating.
I'm sorry. When I heard you had a boyfriend, I was consumed by jealousy. You're not that kind of person. I'm sorry. When you broke up with me, I wasn't rational. You must have done it for my sake. I'm sorry I never calmly talked things through with you. Please don't be angry anymore.
I felt my heart flutter, that sliver of hope growing wild, breaking through the shame and guilt. My limbs moved on their own, and I embraced him. I don't know how long we stayed like that. When I finally let go, his eyes were red. He held my hand tightly and spoke with difficulty.
Can you stop making decisions for my sake? Can you consider my perspective? I want you by my side always. A child who grows up safe and sound.
A child. My heart ached, and I hugged him tightly, tears welling up. After that day, my relationship with James improved significantly. However, neither of us mentioned anything about being together, leaving a sense of something missing. As for John, we hadn't spoken or seen each other since that day. It felt too abrupt to just say goodbye. After some contemplation, I sent him a text message.
Everyone has their own selfish motives. Let the past be the past. I hope you continue to walk a smooth path.
You too. Stay happy and be yourself.
I took a deep breath, feeling a weight lift off my shoulders. Focusing on the dating show notification in my hand, I thought, once I finish this show, I can live the life I want. I got into the van and headed to the cafe. The production team had texted me to wait for my guest there. After 10 minutes, he arrived. James also showed up, watching us with keen interest from the side.
I felt like I was sitting on pins and needles. All I could do was smile.
Hello, I'm Alex.
Under James's dark gaze, I hesitated for a moment before shaking his hand. Alex probably knew from the internet that I had some knowledge of fashion and asked me to help him pick out clothes. I took him to a clothing store, with James following closely behind. Looking at the rows of clothes, I picked out a relaxed, oversized shirt for him.
Do me a favor.
What is it?
Just don't fall for my looks.
I remained silent, while James chuckled. Pretending to browse clothes, James came over and whispered.
You said you wanted me to respect your work and not interfere. But if he keeps this up, I might have to step in. Narrator, using the light and clothes as cover, he gently squeezed my hand.
This was a dating show, and it was live. A woman with two men, this wasn't good. I glared at him. Alex picked up a pair of sunglasses from the side and put them on, striking a pose in front of the mirror.
You've dressed me so handsomely that I'm now a man most women can't have.
And I'm a woman most men can't have.
Really? I want to challenge that. I want to win you over.
His laughter filled the room. Did this show really have to be recorded? My hand was being squeezed so hard it felt like it might break. I quickly changed the subject, pointing to some other outfits.
Let's try these on.
He changed into another outfit and posed in front of the mirror, looking a bit disappointed.
This one doesn't show off my chest muscles.
It'll be over soon. Today will be over soon. For the rest of the time, I just nodded and smiled. As the sky darkened, it was time to head back to our respective places. He waved goodbye with a smile, and I turned to rub my sore face. Back at the hotel, James pinned me against the wall, one hand around my waist, lifting me slightly. He leaned in close to my ear, his soft lips brushing against it, sending shivers down my spine. His breath was warm as he whispered hoarsely.
Did you have fun today? Narrator, his other hand caressed my face, his thumb brushing my lips.
It was okay, just a show, narrator, I replied, trying to stay calm, though my heart was racing and my hands nervously clutched my clothes. My feelings for him were becoming harder to hide.
Tomorrow, pair up with me.
His eyes were filled with intense desire, staring at my lips. I closed my eyes and nodded, feeling a sense of anticipation for the show's finale, where we would confess to our favorite guest.
Get some sleep, silly.
My face felt hot as I pushed him out. Shortly after I finished washing up, my phone buzzed with a trending topic notification. Emily meets a disappointing man. I clicked on it and opened the video clip. The man I had met in the afternoon was sitting on a bench, his profile facing the camera.
How was your experience this time?
I think it was a failed experience. His smile carried a hint of mockery and disdain. It just felt like she lacked a bit of femininity.
He glanced to the upper right and continued.
Anyway, I know what women like her are like. I don't know if you guys do.
Disgusted, I exited the video and entered the real-time comments section, where he was being heavily criticized.
Someone please deal with him. I'm about to throw up.
Ordinary and overconfident, huh?
Doesn't he have a mirror or some water to see himself?
Seeing him get criticized eased my frustration. As the netizens said, he was disappointing. A message popped up from James.
Men are no good, except for me. I'm genuinely good to you. Narrator, he added a playful emoji.
Good? Where were you when I got hit by a car? What were you doing when I was pushed down the stairs? Wasn't it your doing when I was blacklisted online? Narrator, although these things didn't bother me much, they still left a bit of a sting.
There was no reply for a while.
Men really are no good.
The next day, the show crew gathered all the guests at the recording site for a cooking challenge. The show was live-streamed, and the real-time comments were buzzing.
OMG, the guy with Emily is so handsome. Which celebrity is he? Is he a new heartthrob?
The annoying guy is gone? No wonder the show's appeal has skyrocketed.
Wow, they look so good together. Perfect match.
James clung to my sleeve, his lips tight and face filled with guilt.
Go set up the grill.
James nodded, brought over a small stool, and then carried a table from afar. The weather was stifling, and sweat beaded on his forehead. His white shirt clung to his body, outlining his abs. With his long, slender fingers, he rolled up his sleeves and wiped down the table and stool with wet wipes. Then he arranged my favorite fruits and snacks on the table.
Sit for a while. I'll set up the grill.
I sat down, watching the sunlight cast a golden glow on him. The breeze occasionally lifted his bangs, revealing his earnest eyes looking at me. I munched on snacks and sipped the floral tea he had brewed.
Didn't you say eating snacks makes you silly? Why did you bring so many?
I don't mind if you're a bit silly.
The comments were filled with excitement.
I'm shipping them so hard.
Where do I find a boyfriend like this?
Time passed, and he brought over a plate of grilled skewers, his eyes filled with anticipation.
This is delicious. You're amazing.
James blushed and hurried back to the grill. The sun was shining, and the breeze was gentle. I didn't want a dramatic love story or to face any storms. I just wanted a life like this. We had arrived early, so there weren't many guests around. Now, the sound of car horns in the distance signaled their arrival. One by one, cars pulled up, and I saw not only the latest popular idols and singers but also Linda. A sense of irritation welled up inside me.
Who is this? How dare she show up?
Is she not getting enough backlash? Why is she back?
Can we kick her out like the annoying guy?
I pulled James closer, wanting him to see Linda. But he leaned too far and almost burned his hand on the hot coals.
Don't get so close. Be careful.
He placed his reddened hand aside nonchalantly. He glanced at me to make sure I was okay, then turned back to fix the grill. During this, he caught a glimpse of Linda, his expression changing.
It's not what you think. I was going to explain today.
Send me his red hand, I'll kiss it better.
What explanation? I want to hear it.
Drama alert. Front row seats.
I grabbed his hand and led him towards the house to cool the burn with cold water.
I wanted to explain yesterday, but it was hard to do over the phone. And it was late, I didn't want to disturb your sleep.
His explanation was cut off by a female voice.
James, how did you hurt your hand?
Linda rushed over, pushing me aside.
Just explain already. Stop wasting time.
Is this a soap opera? Listen to me. Listen to me. And then something happens and they can't explain.
What's the deal between Linda and James?
James avoided her, hiding behind me, anxious.
I hired her. We have a professional relationship. I paid her to act for me.
Linda's expression changed, shocked that he would reveal this.
It's true. Believe me. That night she bumped into you, pushed you from the set, and caused the online backlash. It wasn't part of my plan. I've already retaliated against her.
His hand, now blistered, clenched into a fist, breaking the blisters.
I believe you.
I pulled him towards the first aid kit. Linda blocked our path, her demeanor as aggressive as before.
What do you want?
James's tone turned cold, his gaze hostile.
What do you want?
I love this double standard. So satisfying.
He's such a gentleman.
Tears welled up in Linda's eyes, giving her a unique beauty.
Even if it was an act, I liked you from the moment I saw you.
I don't like you.
Linda's mouth opened and closed, tears streaming down her face. She raised her hand to slap James. I was shocked by her action. Fortunately, her bodyguard stopped her. James's eyes narrowed, looking at Linda like a predator. This look was dangerous. From what I knew of him, he only showed this expression when facing a formidable opponent in business. Linda was done for. Even if James didn't take action, I would. With no one suppressing me now, my resources and connections had been restored. The online criticism of Linda was relentless. Just like Linda had said at the beginning, I will end your acting career here. Now, I was the one saying this to her. The reality show was coming to an end, and James's hand had long since healed. That evening, the sky was ablaze with fiery sunset hues, beautiful and vibrant. James and I stood amidst the wilderness, feeling the vigorous pulse of nature, a sense of renewal.
Will you hold my hand?
James's palm faced upward, and he firmly grasped my hand as I reached out to him.